Good day, mate. How many days per week should you be training? How long should the exercise duration be? Straight to the question here, no introduction or peddling around the topic of bollocks here. Let's have a straight chat. Right, so when answering this question, I'm going to answer this differently against three certain types of people for their specific requirements. Okay? So one, our fictional character is going to be someone with a busy lifestyle who wants to get a little stronger, a little fitter, and lose some weight. Fat. Number two of our fictional character will be someone with a little more free time on their hands who wants to get in the absolute top tier Greek god shape, muscularity wise that is. Eventually aiming for, competitions, shows, powerlifting meets, photo shoots, whatever. Now our third fictional character is Darth fucking Vader. This is someone with a bit of both of those goals, but stripped back. That would be someone that has a busy lifestyle with kids, but wants to get in shape, make it a lifestyle choice, and maybe dependent on how things go down the line and how well they do, then look into maybe like photo shoots and shows. That was me, a few years back. Now, there'll be a bonus to this as well. The bonus one will be, are you drugged or drug-free individual? By drugged, I mean enhanced trainer. And by enhanced, I mean steroids, not heroin or cocaine user. Which will substantially matter and begs the question further of how many days should I train a week and how long for? Granted, I know I was going to do, I said about no intro bollocks, but I understand now that I've just gave you a load of intro bollocks. So, in either of these three topics, have I described you, Mr. or Mrs.? Does that sound like you? Let's tackle each one. Okay, so, for the first one, are you someone that just wants to get a little bit fitter, lose weight, build a bit of muscle, but has a busy lifestyle? And by busy lifestyle, I mean kids, requirements, responsibilities, maybe a busy job, that kind of thing. Well, let's look into that one. So the first point here, you need to ask yourself, are you a beginner or are you not? Yes, I have a coffee after treadmills. Well, I mean, I didn't really even do a treadmill. I was just pretending in the video that I was doing an hour session, wasn't. So are you a beginner or are you someone more advanced? That's gonna matter. Or are you someone who is a stranger to a bit of the old exercise? That's gonna matter. Especially because a few things are going to differ in that circumstance. So if you're someone that's a beginner, I would say straight to the answer, 3 days a week of a full body type training is probably going to be more preferable for you. You can knock that out in a shorter duration if you have a certain training approach to that, and 3 days a week is, I believe, manageable for most people, even with a busy schedule, especially if their workouts are going to be 45 minutes to an hour duration. If you're someone that's a bit more advanced, you could take that and run with that around 3 days again, or 4 days with a full body approach, especially if you're someone that's not developed, and that's the main thing here. And I assume with this type 1 fictional character, you're not going to be overall developed because you're coming into this wanting to lose a bit of weight and get a bit stronger, a bit fitter, right? So that would mean that you're going to have to take a really smart strategic approach on this. One, your recovery capabilities. It's going to take a bit of while getting used to, because from the get-go, you're not going to be your recovery's going to be shit. That's what I'm trying to say, especially if you're not used to exercising. So a 3-day split, maybe, with a rest day between each day for full body, will be much more, I think anyway, beneficial. So that would be fictional person number one. If you're a beginner or you're not a beginner, the approach is going to be similar. The only thing that's going to change is the duration of your exercises. So if you're not a beginner, maybe you can handle an hour and a half more workout for a full body, because for most full bodies, that's what it's going to take. Now for the second one, might be someone with a little more time in your hands and that you want to utilize. And this is someone that wants to compete and do quite well on this. Now again, what's our first question? This is like one of those, it's called spider diagrams, isn't it? Where they break into, isn't it? So you go Are you this? Yes. It goes here. Are you no? It goes here. So, first thing, your fictional character number 2. You want to do really well. High performer. Great God. So, we look at the climbing ladder diagram. I don't know, but you know what I mean. So we go, are you a beginner? Yes or no? So first we go, yes, you're a beginner. Okay, same approach, I would say. I mean, really, full body approach, a few days a week. Because again, your recovery capabilities might be a bit lower than the first early days. So you want to get as much out of as little as possible so you can recover effectively. Full body, 3 days a week will give you 3 times of bouts of stimulus. If you do some sort of split where you're only hitting things once a week, then it's going to give you 1 bout of stimulus per week versus someone's doing full body doing 3 bouts. Again, the full body is achievable if your program is bound and right, but we're not going to talk about how to approach that today. Okay, so that's if yes, you're a beginner. You stick with that. And then a year down the line, once you become more developed overall, and there's parts that are gleamingly overdeveloped and parts that are gleamingly underdeveloped, gleamingly a word? I think it is. Then that would mean to say that then you will have to adjust from full body. You're going to need days where there's more focus and attention on certain body parts, and you might need more volume, more sets, and more intensity. And that's how you're going to branch off to 4 or 5 days, maybe even 6. But again, that's going to be dependent on how you review your recovery throughout that year. Okay? So that's person number 2. But then on the spider diagram, you may not click yes, you may click, I'm not a beginner, I'm pro. So for that, then I would assume then you would at least minimally would have to achieve 5 to 6 days in the gym to overall develop every area of you. Now, if you're a powerlifter, you could maybe achieve that in 4 or 5 days, but I believe most people just want to hit top game, you're going to have to dedicate 5 to 6 days a week, and these duration exercises are probably going to last an hour and a half to 2 hours. Now, there is the question of, do I go catabolic? Meaning, do I start to burn muscle after an hour? There is the old mantra of, you're very anabolic from the first hour, after that you're not. I think it's, as a natural, yes. If you can cram your workouts into shorter durations, you're much more better off. If not, it's very normal for the majority of people, including naturals and enhanced, to train up to 2 hours. Because especially when you get in the advanced stages where there's heavy weights involved, it takes a lot of time to warm up and give extra focus to certain body parts that you need to develop more, or etc. And the whole idea of catabolic and anabolic, well, that's going to depend on your nutrition, how you train. If you're doing way too much volume, then you're certainly going to start to burn through. And if it's too much volume that you can recover from, on top of not getting enough carbohydrates and sugars and the glycogen in your muscles, and you deplete it, then absolutely. And especially if you don't replenish that after the workout as well. So that's that. I know there is science on it with the catabolic after an hour, but I wouldn't put too much into that. I know practically 100% of people who train up to 2 hours with little to no damage to that. So scenario 3 of the fictional character would be, are you someone that wants to do a bit of both? So busy lifestyle, got kids, but you want to achieve high and compete at a relatively decent level. I would fall kind of under this category to some degrees. So for that, again, the first thing you're going to have to ask yourself is, how is my recovery capability? Can I perform 5, 6, 7 days a week? I don't feel in the ground fatigued. If you can do that, then, and if you have the manageable timeshare to do that with kids, then that's what's going to be required. Because if you want to achieve at high level, 3 days to a week, 4 days, is probably not going to tick off all your boxes. You're going to need more than that. But the idea here, especially at a high level, is recovery is a lot more important than hammering out days. Therefore, what I mean by that is it's going to be much greater for you to try to get your days within that 5 to 6 day range and have as much recovery days as possible within this sequence. And it would be much greater as well if you can tick off every achievable exercise that you need in your program in as short a time as possible, basically. So if you're someone like that, you're going to need to work out smarter, and especially with kids, I know how difficult it is with time. It's going to have a lot of stress demands, much more than the other groups of people. But it can be done. You just really need to manage your time better. Your workouts may need to be done certain times of the day, around kids, but that's fine. But again, duration, to conclude, how many days a week? Minimal 5, I'd say, at minimum. And duration, again, hour and a half up to 2 hours, depending on how performed you are. But if you can get it in within an hour, without as much stress causing the body by doing that, then excellent, all power to you. But if not, it's going to cry out an hour and a half. Okay, so the last bonus here, I'm going to stand up, it's the bonus. The bonus round is, are you drugged or are you drug free? That's going to matter. So, if you're drugged, your recovery capabilities are immense. Much greater than most people. I know a lot of drugged athletes like to say, oh, I'm only on TRT, but it really just gives you a bit of boost and a hard dick. No, it doesn't. Your recovery capabilities are sky high. So, steroid guys could train 2 to 3, 4 hours probably with little to no damage to their recovery aspects, where they wouldn't really burn very much muscle in that time period because they're so anabolic. But their approach to the workout might be different. It might be more volume based, opposed to a natural lifted that's more beneficial to do a strength base, but we'll cover that in another video as well, why enhanced and non-enhanced should train differently. So if you're enhanced, knock yourself out. You could probably go 7 days a week with 3 to 2 hours with little to no damage to your recovery capabilities. If you're not, review the whole video again, exact same thing. Recovery capability is gonna have, that's the most important thing to this. So just review for a year how you recover. Can you do 4 days straight? Can you do 3 days straight? Where do you need to place your rest periods? How much progress can you get from as little volume and work days as possible? And then you're going to have to adjust the durations of day. Now, every day we talk about here in these schedules are resistance weight training days. I'm not even considering about cardio. Cardio, I believe, should be just done flourishly throughout the week. Walks with the family, walks with yourself, that kind of thing. But your weight training systems, again, so to recap, if you're a beginner that just wants to lose a bit of weight and get a bit strong, 3 days a week body training up to an hour. If you're someone that is more advanced and has a lot of time in their hands and wants to achieve big, 5 days minimally per week with up to 2 hours training. And then finally, if you are number 3, wants to do a bit of both of that, review your recovery capabilities up to 5 days a week. You might be able to get away with 4 and between 1.5 to 2 hours training. I hope that helps. If you like it, please do subscribe and click the like and share and everything. Thank you very much. Bye.